News 46 is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community. News is also brought to you by Golden Casino Group, where you'll always find great fun, good food, and fantastic entertainment, all at Gold Town, Lakeside, and the Pahrump Nugget. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, a new recovery center is open for business. Miss Pahrump 2014 speaks about her year as queen. And a fitness instructor develops his own program for weight loss. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Thursday, June 11th, 2015. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Solutions Recovery has now opened up a facility right here in Pahrump on Calvada Boulevard. We caught up with the owner of the treatment center, Dave Marlin.
Solutions Recovery has operated in Nevada for 10 years. We help people who are struggling with alcohol or drug addiction or abuse.
And so you have an office conveniently located right here in the Terribles Roadhouse kind of a center at Healthcare Partners facility?
Yes, we co-locate with Healthcare Partners.
Tell me kind of what you guys specialize in, obviously chemical dependency.
We've been helping people who have a problem with alcohol or an addiction to a drug. We've been helping them for 10 years, and we do it with pharmacological interventions, so medications. We help them with counseling or therapeutic interventions, and then we help them post-counseling, setting up what I call recovery interventions to help them not only get clean, but then to stay clean.
And that's important, isn't it? Because there's really a process in staying clean. You have to make sure that you're not around the same crowd. You have to make sure that you're not doing the same behaviors.
The key is, if you are compulsively using a substance that is still causing you harm and you want to stop but you just can't do it, we help you do that, and we develop an individual plan for you.
And these can be court-ordered therapy sessions, or even for you to come in voluntarily?
Unfortunately, the way most people come to us is by getting in trouble. Usually people like drinking or they like using drugs until it becomes a problem. And if it's become a problem, like you're arrested or you're seeing a judge and you get a court order to come see us, we're happy to see you. We are a private facility and we work with every major insurance. So we'll work either on a cash basis or on working with your insurance to help cover the treatment. We start our process with an assessment. So we have an 800 number and then a local number you call. We will set up an assessment very quickly. The assessment is free. We come down, do the assessment, develop a treatment plan, and we go from there.
Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne started Apple Computers on April 1st, 1976. Wayne, who is a resident of Pahrump, spoke to us about his choice to leave Apple less than 2 weeks later, making the decision that he had too much to lose if the venture didn't pan out. We continue our conversation from yesterday's broadcast.
If I had stayed with Apple, I probably would have wound up the richest man in the cemetery. The second problem was actually one of a monetary nature, because it was a company, not a corporation, which meant that everybody was personally liable if the company had any financial problems. Well, at that point in time, Jobs and Wozniak didn't have two nickels to rub together, but I had a house and a car and a bank account and everything else. If anything happened, I was the guy who was standing liable literally for everything. Then Jobs went out and did exactly what he was supposed to do. He went out and he sold, I think it was 100 computers to a retail outlet called the Byte Shop. The problem was that I found out later on that the Byte Shop had a terrible reputation for not paying their bills. And then Jobs again did what he was supposed to do. He went out and he borrowed $15,000 to buy the materials to fill the order. Well, if this deal blew up, where was I going to get $15,000? So that was another reason. A third reason, and a very significant one, was the fact that I was the chief draftsman and product development engineer for Atari. And Atari was a very young company at that time, and their documentation system was a flaming disaster. So I went in there and I had to rebuild the documentation system, drawings, purchase parts, fabricated parts, from the beginning all the way up. And it turned into a manual that was about 400 pages thick, and set things up so that it was a workable system that served all the departments of the company. Well, Jobs was very impressed with that system, and I was certain that Jobs wanted me probably to run his documentation department. So I would wind up for the next 20 years in a large back office, you know, shuffling papers. Well, I was a product development man in my own right. I had, you know, my own spark of divine genius, and I wanted to go off and do things. You roll it all together, that and a few other things, and it became obvious that I really should not continue with this. So I had my name taken off the contract, and everybody asked me, don't you regret it? I mean, you'd have been a millionaire. Well, first of all, the numbers are very badly skewed. Okay, 10%, and the corporation is worth, what, $100 billion now or whatever it is, which is nonsense, because I had 10% of the Apple Computer Company. Well, Jobs had 45%, and I assure you, he didn't finish up with 45% of Apple Corporation. These percentages get diluted as you raise money to do things and so on. I probably would have wound up with perhaps $100 million at the tail end of it, which is fine. I would love to have had $100 million. But what it would have cost me along the way, psychologically, physically, and in personal satisfaction, $100 million wasn't worth it.
We'll continue with our conversation on tomorrow night's broadcast, including tell you about Ronald Wayne's lecture series. Personal trainer Gary Miller has a new exercise class being taught at the Nye County Republican Central Committee.
It's called metabolic turbulence training. I developed this workout to address weight loss through hormones, fat-burning hormones in your body instead of calories. People have been doing restrictive calorie diets for 100 years that don't work, okay? The metabolic turbulence training is a training that takes 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week, and will force your body to respond by producing fat-burning hormones throughout your entire system. And the system is intense. It's only 20 minutes, but it's very intense. It's based on the same principles of HIIT, which stands for High Intensity Interval Training, and except that instead of having a coach that continually pushes you 30 seconds high intensity, 30 seconds walking, 30 seconds high intensity, 30 seconds walking. What happens with that type of system is only good for about 60% of the people, because 40% of the people can't do it. And out of the 60% of the people, it's a negative, because then they come with the mental attitude, oh my God, I gotta get through this for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it is that they're doing. And the fear of not being able to forces them subconsciously, not intentionally, forces them to pace themselves. When you pace yourself, you lose the intensity. It's like, I got to survive for 20 minutes. This is a rest-based program. And what I mean by rest-based program is you push yourself as hard as you can, and then you rest anytime you want to. So I charge, as a certified personal trainer, I charge $30 a session. However, if you sign up for the 9-week program and you pay weekly, it's only $60, so that saves you $30, okay? I give you that discount because you sign up for the whole program. If you want to come and do it one at a time and do it when you want and quit when you want, that's up to you, okay? But you'll get the most benefit out of going through the whole 9 weeks. And if you do the 9-week program, then you get the benefit of having 30% off.
How do people get in touch with you to sign up?
They could call me at 775-209-4916.
When we return, we're going to tell you what's going on with the Nevada public auction and an important freeway closure you need to know about.